I'm joined here by Carol Harmer of Charmer Charts. Hello, Carol.
Hiya.
You've got over 3 decades of experience in the markets in various guises, and you were one of the first to join the Society of Technical Analysis back in the 80s, when, as you describe it, TA was just a budding flower. What have been the biggest changes since you started trading?
I think the biggest changes are in the markets, obviously themselves, but also I think people have become more aware now as time has gone on, is that fundamental analysis is, there's flavour of the month and there's too many figures out all the time, and so I think more and more people now are starting looking at technical analysis, and it's exploded in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
it
and
really has.
Are you a big advocate of traders being well informed and devising their own strategies? How do people start going about doing that?
I am an extreme advocate of people being well informed. I think if you're a professional trader, which is the trader in a bank, or a hedge fund trader, you already have that working background. My problem comes with these retail traders coming through the ranks now, you know, where they've been made redundant, they're putting their redundancy money into trading Forex, and they really have no idea of what they're doing. They are being led by what's put in the papers, what's put on the financial news services, by their spread betting companies that are giving them their charts and their strategy for the day. And I think to be a success, you've got to actually go back to basics and work it yourself. You've got to learn yourself. I did, and every successful trader person that's still around today, we trod the boards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We learn our trade, we learn our skill from the bottom up.
And you talk about flavour of the months and things coming in and out of fashion. Are there kind of indicators or strategies that you've stuck by from the beginning and still use to this day?
Yes, it's called the KISS theory. It's called keep it simple, stupid. Because as technical analysis has grown, so have the studies, indicators. When I started off, there were probably 8. There's probably 800 now. Where do you start? What one is going to apply to the gold market that may not apply to the euro-dollar market? But the way that I do it, it applies to all markets on all time frames, because it's easy. You strip away. What makes a good trader isn't the fact that he has 1,000,001 things on his screen. It's that he can actually see the price and he puts his buy and sell orders in to make him money. We're not in here to be fantastic technical analysts. We're in here to make money.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and I find that if you just strip everything away and use the tried, trusted, used for years theories, then you're going to have such a head start for that.
And I mean, emotion plays a big part in any of these trading strategies. How do you try and keep that out of trading? Because if you are, the way I can describe it is very, very simple. When I first started off, okay, many years ago, in the coffee lounge, I was the only woman, okay, and all the men every day came in, upper 6. The bond markets are going down. They're going down. They're going down. And they believed that, so they'd go into the pier when it opened and they'd buy it, sell it, okay, and it went up. So they all scrabbled at the end of the day to buy it back. So their emotion was in that trade. As soon as you take that trade, it's your trade. It's emotional. If you trade with charts, it takes the emotion away from it, because you know your entry level, you know your exit level, and you know your stop level. You know where you're going to take your profits and where you're wrong. And a lot of the emotional traders, if they sell at 20 and it goes to 25, why not sell it at 25? It's better than selling it at 20. Well, because through 20, it's broke a good chart point, and it's on its way to 50. Yeah.
So for me, I have no ego, and I trade purely looking at my charts. Whereas men, bless them, don't tend to be able to do that.
Yeah.
That's not derogatory. That is just the way it is.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, there's a kind of stereotype that women are more risk averse than men when it comes to trading. What do you say to that?
I don't think they're risk averse. I think they know when they're wrong, and they're quite happy to admit when they're wrong. Men, not so much. They hope that it will come back to where they went in at, so they could scratch that trade. And the more it goes away from them, the more involved they get of, no, it's really, really going to come back. Women don't do that. They're like, they're out, that's done. I personally would rather trade with women than men.
We'll leave that bit there,
shall we?
But that's fine. I mean, saying all that, you've been incredibly successful over the years, but there is still a massive gap between the amount of male retail traders and the amount of female retail traders. What do you think can be done to bridge that gap, and do you think it can be bridged? Why is that gap there?
I have quite a few women retail traders that come on and talk to me, and the trouble with the retail women traders is their wives, their mothers, their husbands need them. They've got housework to do. A man will retail trade in his office, he's gone to work. A woman doesn't go to work if she's seen working from home. There are other outside forces. And I think once the women become more confident that, hey, do you know, they can do it. And if the children need picking up from school, get the husband to go and pick them up from school and concentrate on, you know, what you're doing. And I think that's the problem. They tend to treat it a bit part-timey, and that they shouldn't really be doing it because they don't really know what they're doing. And I think that's their biggest problem. And I really believe in a few years we're going to see more and more women come through. As in the past, sadly, us that started off in the 80s really were dedicated to getting women traders in London. And I think the men were very, very against women traders coming into an office because they couldn't be risky and not risque.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because there's been so many screaming sexual harassment, and let's put women traders back ears. Listen, you work in a male-orientated world, okay? If they slap you in the backside, slap them back. That's how I got on. I didn't.
Good advice in general.
Do you know what? Absolutely. But there's nothing they could say to me that upset me. I'd give back as good as I got. You know, and I found that's why I'm still here 30 years later.
Well, let's hope more women take after your example.
And stop.
Be good to see.
Yes, I hope so.
Thank you so much for joining us, Carol.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.